Oi, Aiden Sylvester here with another video. I'm sorry for the lack of content lately on this channel. I've been busy and this project in and of itself has taken a long time. Now in this video I'm going to be building something that I've wanted for a while now, but I've never had enough money to buy one. I'm talking about a CNC router. I'm going to be building this CNC router using old parts from a 3D printer that I took apart and then 3D printing other parts for it along with a couple other components. I'm not going to bore you with anything else, just enjoy the video. I don't know what happened here. Okay, so now I'm going to be building the base. I'm thinking about using a wooden base because I added in these countersunk holes in these things so I can mount them using regular wood screws. And I thought I'd recycle it for a different project, so I'm going to be using the backrest from the dunk tank video. The electronics are actually the easiest part of this project because everything on here is just off-the-shelf consumer items that I didn't have to make myself. The X and Y movement are both controlled by NAMO 17 stepper motors. The entire system is powered by a 12-volt, 7-amp power supply that I got off my old 3D printer. And the brains of the operation are the Arduino Uno, and then the controller of the motors, which hooks into the Arduino, is a Synthetos G-Shield. Finally, the Z-axis is controlled by just a smaller stepper motor with the lead screw. The application I'm using to run this is called Universal G-Code Sender, and I'm uploading G-code files that I designed in Fusion 360. Alright, so I've just run the first test, and these are the results. Right here, it carved right through the wood, all the way to the other side, and that was just because the drill bit came loose. But then as you can see right here, this is all kind of a uniform depth right here, but here, it cut deeper into the wood than it should have. The reason that that happened is because look at this. That wobble. So basically it's actually adjusting the height of the drill based on like the direction that it's going. And we can't have that if we want to turn out anything decent. So I'm going to have to completely redesign the Z-axis. Now normally I do anything in my power to not have to rebuild something like this and just use glue or tape to put a temporary band-aid solution on it. But this time I did it the correct way. I completely redesigned it. This time it uses 3 linear guide rods instead of 2, making it more stable. The motor is mounted closer to the center, also making it more stable. The top part is actually printed out of a carbon fiber PLA filament, so it's actually sturdier. And then I also lower the body posts down, which wasn't the same problem. But after all these changes, this thing is a lot sturdier and a lot better. Alright, so this is my official setup. I bought a new computer and I put it out in the garage, and specifically to run my 3D printer and my CNC router, and maybe another machine if I ever get one. Right here, this is where the CNC router is. On the computer, I have everything set up. We got our G code, and then we have, that's 0. We got a piece of really low quality plywood. I actually have no idea if this is gonna work or not. Dremel on, there goes the drill bit. 15,000 RPM, and start. Okay, so the first thing I noticed is that this thing is cutting way too deep. Yeah, look at that. So that is too deep. I don't want it cutting that deep on the first pass. So I think I need to change the G code a bit to make sure that it doesn't cut that deep. On. Alright, so this is after just one pass. I stopped it. It did really well. These are pretty even, they're nice and everything. And as you can see right here, the wood shifted on me a bit, so it made this really weird shape. But everything else looks pretty good. Alright, this looks pretty good, so let's cut this out. so the whole thing got about halfway through before a couple problems. The first one that I noticed is that this stepper motor right here gets really hot. I'm probably going to install some kind of heat sink on it because I don't want it overheating and with like long carves. Everything else seems fine. I did notice that for some reason right here, when it got down to this lower layer, it started carving into the side. I'm not really sure what that means. I'm gonna have to look into that. But until that, it was going pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm most definitely going to use it again, possibly in future projects. There are still a couple problems that I need to work out, but because this video has already taken way too long, I thought I'd just make a separate video on that, and then in that video, I'd also test it out and cut more stuff. So I expect to see another video fairly soon. I don't really know when, but anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.